Somebody Samtastic, backity back with more Guild Wars action. And what you're looking at right there is Avatar of Dwayna, and I just wanted to make this video to talk about a new build that I came up with. One of my friends, he asked me in-game if I had any good hero builds for a dervish, and it occurred to me that since the big dervish update, I had never actually made a hero build for a dervish. I just hadn't had a need for one, really, just in the cases where I actually needed to have, say, Milani in the party for a quest in Nightfall. I just kind of threw something on there that I happen to have that wasn't very good. So the Vow of Silence build and the Onslaught build that I use are a little bit tricky, and you can't really trust the AI to figure out what it's supposed to do with those. So I came up with something that's a little bit more straightforward, and it's a little bit tricky, but I think heroes can mostly figure this one out. And yes, there you go. I am wearing pink armor now. I re-dyed my obsidian for no particular reason other than real men wear pink, and I figured with Guild Wars 2 coming out in less than 2 weeks, screw it, whatever. So there we are. We've got on the skill bar Avatar of Dwayna, Victorious Sweep, Crippling Victory, Chilling Victory, Armor of Sanctity, Veil of Thorns, Mystic Vigor, and Intimidating Aura. The fundamental design of this build is pretty much to keep you at really high health and to keep your enemies at lower health, because you get to benefit from that greatly. It's a very tanky build, much more so than the Onslaught build that I have is a very condition heavy build. So the way that I've got these set out, Scythe Mastery is actually at 11, and Earth Prayers and Mysticism are each at 10. And that is Mysticism +1/+1 on the headpiece there. And then I've got Scythe Mastery +1 and Earth Prayers +1. And I am using a rune of Superior Vigor. And if you can't get one of those because they're too expensive for you, then just go with the Major Vigor and suck it up. There are a couple other ways you can stack your health up a little bit too, like not having that Stalwart insignia would be a good way. Anyway. So the weapon that you would want to use for this build is not the weapon that I actually have. I need to get some new mods for this. The Shelter mod is not too bad. The Armor +7 versus physical damage. It might be better to just get the straight up Armor +5 versus all damage, but you do what you can. The Earth damage is silly because Avatar of Dwayna actually applies elemental damage, so there's no reason to do that. It's gonna cover that up. So you should, instead of using that, you could go with, I think the options are Sundering or Vampiric is one that could be good. Heavy, I believe, is one of them that increases the length of time that weakness is applied, which could be very good for Armor of Sanctity. And there's another one to lengthen how long Cripple stays applied, which could be good. So those are options. And then you do not want to use an Enchanting Scythe. You would be much better off getting the health +30 on your scythe. The reason for that is because you actually want the enchantments to wear off. The way that Avatar Dwayna works is that every time you use an attack skill, of which we have 3, it removes a hex from you. And every time that one of your enchantments ends, it heals all allies in the area or in earshot for 41 health, which is pretty significant, I think. It helps make your entire party beefier. And the basic function of this is as you're running in to go encounter enemies in battle, you throw up Avatar of Dwayna before you enter battle if you can. You can cast it in battle if you need to, but it's better to just get that out of the way. And then as you're running into battle, you throw on your Intimidating Aura just to get that going, because that's 60 seconds. We're not going to be really counting on the recharge on that. And then you can use Armor of Sanctity, Veil of Thorns, and Mystic Vigor. Because these are both going to last for 20 seconds with the 15-second recharge, you need to wait for 5 seconds after those actually finish recharging to use them for them to wear off again. This one has a 15-second length of time that it lasts. 15-second duration, that's the word I'm looking for, as well as 15-second recharge. So you could basically cast this one immediately as soon as it recharges. And to sort of get yourself in the right timing on that, it can help to throw out Veil of Thorns and Mystic Vigor first, and then basically once you get in close on enemies, you want to do that weakness on them as quickly as you can, because you take less damage with this skill. You take less damage from enemies if they have a condition, so you want to get that Armor of Sanctity on the enemies right next to you. And then as this wears off, here, we'll take a look at that. We'll get the avatar up. So if we cast this first, and then this, and then this, then you're going to see the durations of these as they wear down. This one's going to actually end first. And so when it does so, here we can put that one up as well, because this should stay up constantly. So this ends first, and we want to immediately recast that, and then the other two end, and after those end, it applies the healing, and we can cast those again. You don't want to recast them until they run out on these three. I think Intimidating Aura and Avatar of Dwayna you want to just keep up indefinitely, unless you notice that Intimidating Aura is about to wear off. If you're thinking about it, just go ahead and throw that one up, just so that you don't have to pay attention to it, because 60 seconds is kind of a long time to keep track of a skill. The attack skills that we've got are Victorious Sweep, which lets you gain health from attacking foes that have less health than you, and it also does a good chunk of damage, and it casts energy instead of adrenaline, so you can just throw that one down every 4 seconds. The energy management on this build actually works out pretty well with the high, what is it, Mysticism. There we go. And so then Crippling Victory will do more damage on foes that have less health than you, and then Chilling Victory will also do quite a bit of damage on foes that have less health than you. And so this whole thing is about having more health than the enemies that you're attacking. So that's one of the reasons that having more health from your scythe would be a good thing. And we're going to go ahead and see. I actually don't know how well this is going to survive without having the backup, but we're going to go ahead and check this out, because I am just in normal mode, and we're going to let these guys kind of hop onto my face here. As you can see, though, it's a very, very tanky build. And so once those wear off, we're going to recast them. And they're knocking me down, which is annoying. Let's gain some of that health back. That is really annoying. There we go. But you can see, even getting pummeled by 4 Berserking Bisons, which are level 22, I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping my health full. And they interrupted Avatar of Dwayna, so that's actually going to be a problem. See, got it back up. Awesome. God, that's obnoxious. Alright, so these guys like to pummel me to death, as it's turning out. So, I actually don't know if I'll be able to take them down or not, but the basic idea here is that this build is not supposed to be used for solo fighting. This is something that works great in conjunction with using your heroes along with you. And so I just don't want to deal with that fight anymore. Anyway, that's just something that I came up with. I think that it's a really effective build, and it's a lot of fun to use. It's very tanky, so it's great, and I recommend it. I actually prefer using that over the Onslaught build. I don't know if the reason for that is because I've been using my Onslaught build for so long. It's just nice to have something else. But it should also work great with heroes. It's even PvP friendly, because these are all You don't actually get to heal everyone around you with Avatar of Dwayna, but with a couple of modifications, you might be able to make that work in PvP pretty well. Maybe get some healing, more healing in there. It's hard to say, but it's all in all a pretty tanky build. It's pretty fun to use, and I kind of noticed its power when I went to go take on Justiciar Cassandra, who normally is a huge pain for me, and I just ran in and just raffle stomped her, and it was good times. So yeah, use that build if you like playing a dervish, or put it on a hero if you just need a tanky hero in your party, and click like, subscribe, because that's always fun too, and you will see me later.